While we're waiting to see if our yo-yo trap catches any fish, we're going to make a bow drill, because if we do catch some fish, we have to have a way to cook it. So this is a real quick down and dirty on how to make a bow drill. So far I've collected a straight-ish stick for my spindle and something that I can split for my baseboard, and then I'll get my bow in a minute and I'll make a top socket as well. So first thing you need to do, I'm gonna have to trim this guy up. Turn that into my baseboard. Alright, so it's an ugly baseboard. I gotta cut it flat. I can maybe baton it. It'd be nice if I had a smaller stick. Take this out and baton it on a hard surface on a rock over there. This is gonna be my baseboard. Maybe that one. I don't want that spoon shape to it, so I have to chop the bottom piece of it off right here. So what I'll do is use that board to catch my shavings. Baseboard. Okay, got that guy kind of straight on top, a little bit bowed on bottom, but that's okay. So there's my baseboard. Now I need a spindle. The way that you make a spindle is you cut it straight. So I'm going to use about that part of it right there. Looking right down the tip of this, and I'm trying to find out where the twist is. Okay, so you see how it's all awkward. I'm going to cut all of this off and cut all of this off here so that I can make it straight. This little technique is called the chest lever. What you do is you put your knife away from you, like this, put it on your chest. You put the stick next to you like this. You use the bottom part of it, and you just pull your shoulder blades together like that. Take big old chunks of wood off, especially if you have a really nice knife like this Falcon Ivan. Alright, this is going to be my spindle stick. Now, this bottom part is more fat than this top part. So what I'm going to do is make this top part super pointy. Pointy like a pencil. And then I'm going to make this bottom part fat like a crayon. The reason why I do that is so that I have a lot of friction on the bottom and a little bit of friction on top. My hand is dying on me here. Okay, fat like a crayon, pointy like a pencil. And that should run pretty darn smooth. Alright. Now the next thing that I need to do is go grab myself a green tree limb that I can use for my bow. I'm going to put a pause on this and go grab me a tree limb. So I got myself a bow. I'm only going to need about that much of it, so I'll take some of the tip of this off here. What this is a very green tree with just a little bit of bend to it. Just a little bit. Just enough for my bow to travel. If I get too much bend, like a big round bow, it's floppy when you're trying to run the bow drill. I don't like it. It's one way to do it that's not wrong. I just like this better. So what I'm doing is measuring at the length of my arm plus about 4 or 5 inches. Maybe an arm and a hand if you want. And that's how long I like to have my bow. Gives me a lot of leverage so I can do long strokes on the drill. I'm going to clean this up a bit with my little chest lever technique. And I'm going to take all of these knots off. Eventually, what I'll do is put this in the fire and fire treat it while it's still green, and it will give me a very springy bow. And I'm going to cut the knots both directions so they won't snag from either direction. Takes them right off. In fact, I might just pull the bark off of this right now. There is my bow. Okay, now I need to leave a notch for my string to attach somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. basically what I'm doing, use the chest lever and then come back and cut all the little chunks off. And that'll give me a little groove right there to hold it all. Right, there's my bow for my bow drill. Next thing I need, put some string on it. Now, I don't have time today to make string, but I brought 550 cord that I'll show you. Normally you would be able to make string, and I would take 30 seconds and show you how to do that. So the way that you make string is you get some dogwood or something that's got long fibrous material in it. I just happen to have some. Stinky nettle works. Bark from willow will work if you boil it. A lot of options. Anyway, this one you just crunch it, split it, take all the fibrous materials out of the middle out of it. Okay, what's left is this long stringy bark. Alright? And what you'll do is just start twisting the bark one direction and then twist it the other direction. So here's one strand of it. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll take my two strands, bend them in half like this, bend them in half like this. I'm going to set this down for now. And then I'll start twisting away from me, and twisting away from me, and then twist towards me. And away, away, and towards. What this will do is it'll make it try to twist against itself so it won't unravel. But as you can tell, this is going to take a long time. So that's why I'm not using natural materials for my bow drill string today. Just for the bow drill. That is what the rope looks like. What you'll do as you run out of rope is just take another piece, bend it right in the middle, add it in like that, and just twist it. And then if you start getting a thin side, just push more material over to the thicker, from the thin side to the thicker side, and you'll start getting more string. So I've got my bow, the long part. I need to put my spindle on there, but I need to measure it first. The way that I do that is this. I'll throw a hitch right here up on the smaller end, right, which is just push away, and away. I usually like to tie 3 of the little hitch so that it will just stay snug and keep this extra line from slapping around. Hitch looks like that. Okay, that's 3 of them on a hitch. Now you can see where the bend of my bow goes, that's where my string's going to go. So don't screw that one up. What I need to do now is measure my spindle. So I'm going to take my spindle, I'm going to grab it like this, and I get the fat part on the bottom, sharp part on the top. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 times at least. Okay? And then I'm going to have it in the middle like this, tilted at a 45-degree angle. Maybe you can see better on this camera. Tilted at a 45-degree angle and measure my spot, right? The reason that I'm doing that is this 550 cord or this parachute cord is dynamic, so it stretches. And I'm going to need to measure it out that point so that when I tighten it down, it'll be snug and not slap all over the place. There's 1, and I'm just tying hitches again. And the way that you tie this hitch is twist it, and push it over the top. Twist it, push it over the top. Okay? And there is my bow. Now, with this extra string, if you're out in the middle of nowhere, don't be chopping it up into little pieces if you don't have to. So what I'll do is just wrap this around the bow, and it gives me a grip. And that's going to take me a minute, but I'll wrap that up real quick. You could make yourself a shuttle for this if you really had a huge amount of string, but I don't think that really matters. Okay, to finish this off, I'm just wrapping it and tying it under itself. Wrap it and tie it under itself, and it will hold just fine. I could whiplash this, but there's just no need because I will probably need to take the string off eventually anyway, and this is just a holding device. So this is my bow. Alright, here's my bow. Now it's time to make a socket. For the socket, all you need is a piece of board that you can hold on the top just like that. Okay? Really simple. So I'm just going to use this board we've been chopping on and turn that into my socket on the top. There's my socket. I'm going to flatten the bottom out of it up just a little bit so I can make it a little easier to use. And that's my kit. So I have the baseboard, spindle, socket, and the bow. Now it's time to make some fire. So I'm going to go collect a little bit of nesting material, a little kindling, and then I'll show you how this guy works. Alright, I've gone and grabbed some stringy tree bark, and I'm going to use that for my kindling. He's grinded up really, really good. Grind that up real well. And that'll give me a place to put my ember once I have it. And I just have a little chunk of big tree bark to hold it. And basically all this is just worn and tattered inner tree bark. And it's really, really stringy. I'm going to make that stuff. So once I've got my ember, I'll transfer that to my nest, and that should give me the flame. And all I'm going to look for is flame today. I'm not going to make a full-on fire. I'm going to show you how to run this guy. Find myself a flat spot if I can, and a big leaf to hold the ember. That'll work. Okay. Now I got to do a burn-in. Creates the place. And I'm going to go about a thumb's length in on the board. That should work for about not going too far in or being too far out so it waddles out. Now this is all about technique. Having a straight spine, nice tall back,